What is up, everybody? Bobby here, the Nintendo Guru. It's time for the whole breakdown, the discussion, the rigmarole, everything that I do typically for the patrons on Patreon and all that nonsense. I don't know how to say it right, obviously, so that we're just gonna flow with this. Platinum executive producer Cory Hicks, thank you so much, sir. Gold executive producer Sheldon Benedict, or Benjamin, depending on how you want to say it. It is what it is. Thank you, sir. Executive, normal level. We don't do that Sean Capri, We the Gamercast thing where it's gentlemen. This is normal executive producer over here. Nick Milicia, Joel Brooks, James Johnson, Jesse Armstrong, Glauco Schaffer, David Ray, Joey Hehir, Mike Drummie, or Michael, depending on what you prefer. Shut your face. Benjamin, Brendan Myers. That is all. Let's get to the show. Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by my best friend in all the land, Tobys Thornton. What is up, sir?
What is up, Bobby? I'm so excited.
Are you excited?
Yeah,
Speaking of which, welcome to the greatest co-host in all of podcasting, Sean Capri.
Hello, Bobby. Good morning. Hi.
Good morning.
Hi, hello.
Good morning.
I'm here now.
That matches my mug.
I know. That's why I saw you take a sip, and I'm like, that looks like my notepad.
Yeah.
Look at that. We're kind of matching.
And we have to also welcome the people's champion of podcasting, Mr. Badbit himself, Joseph Moran. What is up, sir?
Hello. I have a poured mug. So I think I have the best mug is what I'm trying to get at. Hi.
No, you don't have the best mug. I have the best mug right here. This is the best mug.
Oh, face-wise. Well, I think that goes to... I think that goes to Toby because he's.
Hey, don't kiss up to him. Would you stop it?
Is Toby the youngest one here? How old are you, Toby? 16, 17?
I'm not that young. I think I am the youngest, though.
Not Joseph. I think Joseph's the youngest.
I think Joseph is.
Oh, man, I don't look it.
How old are you, Toby? 26, right?
No, I'm not 26, Bobby.
How old are you?
Guess again.
31.
Are you 31?
I'm 28, Bobby.
I was going to say 28 the second.
Oh, damn it. I thought you were surprisingly old.
And then, Joseph,
you're surprising.
You're what, 22, 23?
I'm feeling 22, but I'm 26.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Holy crap. You're
I know, I think about
pulling
it
the
too,
Van Wilder schooling, huh? So, let's kick this episode off like we do each and every episode with our Geek Outs.
I know. Oh, shout outs. Bobby, what are you doing? Shout outs. Shout outs. What are you doing?
I figured you're going to do something stupid
not
like
right.
that. So the way we're gonna let's just jump into this. Toby, since you made me do this way, what is your Geek Out? Let's start with you.
I got 2 Geek Outs.
You get one.
No, Bobby, you're going to want to hear both of these Geek Outs.
Oh, good God. Here we go.
Geek Out number 1.
I can't wait, Toby. I can't wait. See, now...
I can't wait, Toby.
I'm nice to you.
Bobby, you are nice.
You're mean.
Listen,
all right.
As you can tell in the pre-show, now you see why I'm mean. Because I get attacked every 2 seconds. I can't even do my stuff because you guys are cutting me off and breaking it down. Go ahead, Tobes.
Geek Out number 1. I have finished Super Mario Odyssey.
I already knew about that. That's not a geek out for me. Go ahead.
Well, what are you doing to him, Toby? That's very impressive.
I'm proud of you, Toby.
2 weeks ago, he's like banging on my door.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. It took me 1 day. 2 weeks ago.
Let's not get into this problem.
Okay, go ahead.
What do you
mean? Number 2.
Like you just finished all the levels?
Well, I beat the main story.
You rolled credits.
Okay.
Yeah. Geek Out number 2. This morning.
You beat Zelda.
I beat Zelda.
Yes. About time.
No way.
Yes.
It took a while, but I'm proud.
Yes.
Oh, I'm the only one left now.
I love it. About time.
What do you think?
It's a weight off my shoulders, Bobby.
Ooh, it's good. Thank God. I was getting worried about you. I didn't think you were ever going back.
I'm enjoying it.
Did you like it?
Yeah. Well, the final boss, no, didn't like it. But
Okay.
But I'm still enjoying playing the game.
Good. Good.
I think all the bosses in dungeons kind of.
Yeah, they're all right. Yeah. Mr. Capri,
Hi, Bobby.
you finally get to geek out.
Dude, I am seriously So
So
Bobby,
what are your
Xbox,
so tell me
Xbox is
so what are
the thing
your
that's happening.
what are your shout outs today, Sean?
My shout out is to my wife because of what I'm geeking out about.
Okay.
So you guys know that I've got a trial console of Xbox One X, and I've been very much enjoying it. Reviews up on weedandnerdy.com. And I've been enjoying it so much that I'm like, oh man, I don't know what to do about this whole thing. I asked Xbox, maybe can I keep it? Like, is there any chance that you can make this whole trial thing a keeper? And they're like, get back to us near the end of the year. We're gonna redecide like what the situation.
Oh my god.
So I'm like, that's not a no. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe we'll see. Okay. But in the meantime, I'm like, that doesn't really help me out with the whole, like, should I open the Project Scorpio version that I got? Should I open it? Should I wait for a return period?
Yes.
So I talked to Chelsea about this and I told her the whole situation, and she's like, well, why don't you just open the Scorpio? And if you get to keep the one from Microsoft, then I guess we'll just have two then.
Well, you need two anyway, Sean. You got the side-by-side TVs. You need two.
Dude,
that is amazing.
Should I just not have like the greatest wife ever? I'm like, if I wasn't already married, I would get down on one knee right now. That is absolutely phenomenal.
That is amazing.
There's so much more to geek out about. Oh my god, there's so much more. But that's it for now.
Okay.
I'll only do one.
Okay,
Toby.
Thank you.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I like to geek outs. I think the whole show should be geek outs. I think this should be the geek out in the podcast.
We could just change it to the geek out show and just do geek outs the whole show. Mr. Moran.
Yeah.
What are you geeking out about?
You know, I beat Mario, Zelda. I own an Xbox One X now. Those are not the things I'm going to geek out over. Instead, I'm going to geek out over the PlayStation 4 Pro because I think it might be better than the X.
Really?
what?
I'm in a very tough spot, right? So like the Xbox One X, clearly the better console in terms of power.
Mm-hmm.
But when I think of like, and maybe this is just the type of gamer I am. When I go, okay, this is great. Where's the games though? And I'm like, I already beat Gears. I already beat Halo, right? So all these games, they look really nice, but they're not doing anything
already.
for me. What's that?
Well, Battlefront 2. You guys even playing Battlefront 2? Because I've played like 3 hours of the campaign, tearing it up.
Calm down.
Don't
calm
you dare.
down.
A little tired to hear that kind of crap.
I got this pen, and I will shiv you. Tuesday, I gotta wait. So, I gotta say, not enough props to the Pro because to me, it gets the job done. You're still getting really nice images, and I'll be honest with you, if I had to say what game looks nicer, Gears of War 4 or Horizon Zero Dawn, I'm gonna pick Horizon. So right now, I don't know what I would choose if I didn't have any of them.
I'm never doing the PlayStation podcast again.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Then I'm lucky I already recorded this week's show.
Oh my lord. That's pretty. I don't care, Joseph.
That wasn't a geek out. That was just a whole shot.
Yeah,
Like,
that was a shot. You just took a stab at him, and that's not kidding.
I took a shot at 2 people.
Are you new? Like, do you not understand what geek outs are?
Yeah.
I'm
You
trying.
know how
I'm
long I've been waiting to be part of a geek out conversation? You bring that crap. Thanks, Toby, for bringing.
All right.
genuine
Okay.
geek
All right.
outs.
My geek out is the Xbox One X. It's
not
the
what I'm
most
asking
powerful
for.
console.
You can't come back on it now. You've already ruined it all.
Bobby, what are you geeking out about?
Yeah.
So yesterday I took a little trip to New York City. Met my boy Joe after work at the Nintendo World store, Nintendo New York store. Went in, bought a little Doom action.
Ooh.
Bought Tiny Barbarian, and then I went to a meeting in the city, and I got to get a first-hand impression of the Ojo, the Nintendo Switch projector, and this thing. I'll have a video up Monday, and it's gonna just go into detail on my impressions of it, but it's pretty cool to be sitting in a restaurant playing Doom on a wall. Like, it was pretty amazing. Like, not gonna lie, like it was the guy. I want to thank the people from Ojo for allowing Joe to come with me first off, and to just be gracious enough to sit down with me for about 2.5 hours and just answer any questions I had. And then they were asking me questions of what they thought, how it would work and how the changes and what I thought about it and stuff. And like, they really took into consideration some of the ideas that I had and some of the thoughts that I had. But man, it was such a surreal moment to just be there and sit there and be like, they're talking to me like, like whatever. But it's just like, it was just so unreal to be there, because I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, how did we get here? Like, how did we get to this point that it's like people are actually contacting us to do stuff? You know what I mean? I called Sean on the way home last night from the meeting, and I was just like, dude, we have hit a level that obviously we don't do it by ourselves. Like, if it wasn't for the people that follow us and support us and show us support, we're not at this point. So that's a first thank you to all those people. But we are to the point where it's just humbling as hell to be sitting in that meeting just like, wow, this is so cool. So a couple things they're going to do is I have a first impressions video going up tomorrow. I have some video footage of me playing the Ojo in the restaurant, which is pretty cool. Secondly, they are going to come on Nintendo Talk. And so anybody that has questions about it or whatever, like if you want to send them to me or you want to show up and be in a live chat and we will ask them live. But pretty cool stuff. And they're both British, Toby, so I got to take shots. I got to take shots at the Brits while I was there. But go ahead, you were going to say something.
Yeah, in this restaurant, what sort of restaurant was it? And were you projecting on the wall with the projector?
Yeah, it was an Italian restaurant. Really nice restaurant.
You were having your spaghetti and meatballs playing.
I was having chicken parmesan.
Right.
And tiramisu and stuff.
And they didn't mind that you were doing that.
The owner came out, watched us play, because we were playing Mario Kart first, me and Joe.
Yeah.
Watched us play, and he's like, that is so cool. The owner did. The owner of the restaurant company. He's like, that is so
Italian.
cool.
He's like, oh, it's Super Mario.
Yeah,
He's on the wall. It's unbelievable.
Dude, the owner.
That's really cool.
When they so the owner comes out to meet us, because the one PR girl, Nancy, she knew the owner for years, for like 20 years. So he came out, she introduced him to me, and was like, this is Bobby the Nintendo Guru, and this and that, and like, he's here to check this out, and he's like, oh, let's celebrate, and he gets a bottle of champagne and brings it out, and they pop, and I'm like, what is going on right now? I looked at Joe, and I was like, dude, what is going on? He's like, this is so cool. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. But also, the guys, Jack and Tom, they are so cool. So, you know what I mean? Like, they're the coolest Brits that I know, next to Michael Drummie and Murray.
No, I don't know about that.
No one else comes to mind, Bobby?
No, nobody else comes to mind. Nobody else comes to mind. It's Holly. Holly comes to mind. Yeah, that's true.
I'm going.
I said that you live in Fritton, right? Fritton on the sea.
Frinton on the sea.
I said that to Jack because I was like, oh, my buddy Toby, he lives in England. And he was like, because I asked him where he lives. He lives in London. And he's like, oh, I said my buddy Toby lives in Frinton. And he's like, oh, that's like San Francisco. It's a really lovely place down there.
It's certainly not hilly.
Well, no, but it's like, you know, kind of that sea breeze type thing or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, so, yeah, it was pretty cool. I think we have one more geek out that we need to go over here. So we've been teasing some stuff the past week or so, and I think it's time we come out with our plan.
We're coming out the closet.
Yeah, pretty much.
Bobby and I are getting married.
I'm going to be the officiant.
That already happened in New York. What are you talking about? So we're making some changes to make us better. And we want to start off by saying, like, thank you to the people that have been supporting us, because you've put us in a position where we're doing so well. You knocked out our stretch goals so quickly that we needed to figure out a way to do more content. And we just, time-wise, we just don't have the ability. So what you were able to do, because you've been so generous with us, is we were actually able to I don't want to say hire, because it's not like he's an employee of ours, but bring on as a partner. Because that's the way we want to do this. We don't want to hire people. We want to make partners, and we want to grow this with the community and with everybody across the board, and that's essentially what we did. So, Joseph,
I'm really excited. I can't wait. Who is it, Bobby?
Joseph Moran will be joining us, Mr. Badbit himself.
Hello.
So I think we need to break down exactly how this is all going to work, because there's going to be some instant confusion and such.
I'm the new boss. It's crazy. They're like, we want you to run it, Joe. You are.
It'll be like
youngest...
Bobby does Raw and Joe does SmackDown.
Except that's not the case.
I'm the manager of SmackDown
that's
now.
Not stop.
No. Okay. Toby's like, what about me?
Toby's like, where do I go?
He goes to the women's division.
Toby's like Shane McMahon. He's a giant killer.
Oh my god.
So there are changes that are going to take place, and we're going to go over this one by one to get everybody up to speed to how this is going to work. So since we started Make Us Better, Toby has been clamoring to get Sean over here on this podcast.
Since before that, let's be fair.
But I mean, it was verbally put out there big time that day when we started talking about it. And at that time, we were just like, "There's no way this happens. We can't do this." It's going to happen now. So Sean will be moving to this podcast. This podcast will be changing. It's going to go from the Nintendo PlayStation podcast to we're not sure yet. But it will be, I will be handling Nintendo stuff, Toby will be handling PlayStation stuff, and Sean will be handling the Xbox stuff. So we haven't ironed out a name yet. We're kicking names around at this moment.
I think it's pretty clear what we should choose, though, Bobby.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you
Can
think?
I say which one's my favorite?
You can say what your
Toby
favorite.
Thornton presents.
I'm a huge fan of the gaming gurus because we are all a guru from different places. You know, Bobby's the Nintendo guru, I'll be the PlayStation guru, and Sean will be the Xbox guru. Gaming gurus. Makes sense.
I like it.
I like it.
You like it? You sure, Toby? You sure, Sean?
Yeah.
You sure, Sean?
Yeah, I like it. Just make a drawing of me like you got a drawing of yourself in your whole like Mario outfit, but put me in a Phil Spencer like suit and t-shirt and stuff.
Okay, so that's where it's going to go. We're going to be called the new show will be called The Gaming Gurus. And it will be myself, Toby, Sean. Now, the next lynch in this whole kink of a pin and all that stuff. I don't know. I screwed that up, but whatever.
Kink of a pin.
Yeah. I meant to say linchpin in all this. Sean will be leaving if we were at Nintendo. He will no longer be on that podcast.
Ever again.
Could we put like wah 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 like, you know, backdrop?
Yeah.
No. Sean will be on tomorrow night. That'll be Sean's final episode of If We Were at Nintendo. Because I can't just end it like that. We got to go out with one final episode. So that'll be a live episode Sean and I will do. So if you're listening to this on Monday, tonight, it'll be a live episode of Sean and I doing If We Were at Nintendo for the last time. But Joseph will be replacing Sean on that show. So in theory, the way it works is Sean's doing a lot as it is, and we couldn't just be like, Sean, you need to do 2 podcasts. I felt this would be a strong podcast to move Sean over here as well, just because I did like the idea of like all 3 of us tackling different companies, so to speak, and representing different companies in the gaming console wars per se. But ultimately, it just didn't work out because he couldn't add another show to the mix for him. He's already doing a lot of shows as I am. So essentially, it was like, well, if we pulled Sean off, we got to find a replacement. So who's the replacement? So we're gonna try to trust Joseph to take the reins.
Ooh.
Real quick, okay. So let's get into this. Sean, what's your take? How do you feel?
Well, when you say it out loud, it feels weird. It feels
does, right?
like it's so finite and immediate.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about it yet, man. I can't wait to listen as a fan, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Joseph is like, I look at him as your son. So the fact that you guys should have a show together.
Oh my god.
And I'm excited to maybe shake it up a little bit too. So, you know, like I did all the hard work with If We Ran Nintendo when Nintendo wasn't doing so well. So now that I've got the company up off the ground, I can leave Nintendo on a really positive trajectory, and then you guys can have like the easy time. So I'm actually, now that I put it that way, I feel much better, and I can't wait to now go back to the new underdog, which is Xbox. In this whole thing, and it's just that's the way it goes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, Reggie Capri over there, good job.
I'm ready to kick ass and take names. I'm all out of bubble gum or something.
So then the question to you, Joseph, is how do you feel about all this? What's going through your mind?
Really nervous.
Really?
Yeah, man, those are huge shoes. Those are like Krusty the Clown shoes.
Exactly. I got huge shoes to fill, man. Sean is the best co-host. Maybe not the best host, but the best co-host.
Definitely
for sure.
not the best.
But yeah, no, it's huge because I've been listening to you guys for a while now, and yeah, when you asked me like to be the co-host, that I immediately like, whoa. Like I still have that reaction. It's unreal. It's surreal. Yeah. It's something that I think I won't be accustomed to. I think ever, and I think yeah, I'll be nervous until I think we start rolling. Yeah, that's it.
I think it's weird for me, honestly. Yeah. Not in a bad way. It's a good weird, but it's also just strange. Because I've been doing this show for almost 2 years with Sean. It'd be like just me replacing Toby from here. You know what I mean? Like, and Toby and I have been doing this for almost 3 years now. So it's like, just to be like, hey, no more, you go away. It's just like, wow, that's a little different. I feel like you and I have a really solid chemistry. Like, when I go back and I listen to the episodes of Nintendo PlayStation Podcast where you've substituted for Toby, I feel like they've been really strong episodes. It's almost like we didn't skip a beat.
Yeah.
So that's always been something in my mind where I was like, because I feel like if you bring someone in, and I didn't have to, like, here's the thing. So you bring someone in, right? A lot of times in this, when you have a formatted show, a lot of times in the past, I would just change the format to some degree because Toby wasn't there, you know, but a lot of times with the other shows that we did, we always had like another host in there. When I brought you in, it was like, this is what I need you to do. And you were like, got it, no problem. You were able to bring topics. You were able to contribute to the show. Yeah. So it was almost like you were a better version of Toby, actually. So it was
what? Better than me? I was going to say that's better than me. Well, stop it, Bobby. This is the best thing that people can look forward to. This is where they're actually making us better. Show's going to start on time now because I'm not doing it anymore.
Please don't jinx it. Please don't jinx it, Sean.
No, you'll be there. Don't worry about that. No, Sean.
Watch me be in the chat now exactly on time.
I know.
Hello, boys.
This is what used to infuriate me. Sean would be like, I think, Sean, 8:30 today? Yeah, no problem. And then like 10 minutes before the show, he's texting me. I'm like, okay, cool. I go in, I jump in, I'm like, Sean, where you at? Sean, where you at? Come on, Sean. And it's like
I have stomach issues,
minutes,
you know that.
2 minutes before we're about to go live, and then he's like messaging me, like, give me a minute. And I'm like, dude, we start in like, come on. And then he'd log in exactly at 8:30, and I'm like, oh my god, dude.
Sounds pretty magically punctual to me. Like,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, Bobby's always having a go at me for arriving on the button, but you know,
you don't arrive on the button either,
I
buddy.
do, Bobby. You're
I
always like,
do, Bobby.
You're late, man. What the hell are you doing? I'm never late, Bobby.
Really? You were late today? All three of you were late today. I had to call you. I had to text every one of you.
I was the first one here, Bobby.
I was the first one here, Bobby.
Such a liar, Bobby.
I was about to be on like 5 minutes early, and then I saw your message come in, and so I went and made coffee, and I took care of the dogs and stuff. And I'm like, oh, Bobby's freaking out, so I got time.
Oh, Lord. So, Okay, so here's the other aspect of things, so people know.
Yep.
So Joseph has the PlayStation podcast, which
Great name.
Every Tuesday.
So go check that out. He will have rotating guests on that show. So each week it'll be somebody different. Sean Capri's been on for the past couple of weeks. Hopefully we can get Toby on there a couple times. I mean, I have nothing against popping in there a little bit from here to there, here and there when we get a chance.
Yeah, but if I need someone to just completely trash on Sony, I know who to call.
Exactly. Bring me in and I, like a champ, I'll be hitting it out the park. So it's more or less, so that's the way we're going with that. So that adds a little more content for you guys. So anybody that's into PlayStation, it adds another wrinkle into that way. So we're moving that way with that. Also, Joseph, over the period of the past year or so, like he's done 2 videos, 3 videos a week. Like it's always been like sporadic. He's kind of going back to the format of 3 a week. Mm-hmm. The nice thing is whenever he does Nintendo videos, because his videos are a little bit more, I'm going to say edgier than my Nintendo videos. Like all your videos are a little bit more edgier because, it's a little bit with the profanity, a little bit. He doesn't hold back, which is fine. But when he gives me those videos, the Nintendo versions or the Nintendo videos, I'm going to post them on my channel as well, but I'm going to edit them. So, meaning they'll be like little coin drops instead of the F word. And
I can't wait for that.
Yeah, it's going to be like little whenever.
Happy hats covering the mouth.
Yeah. So it'll be a lot of fun stuff with that. So
yeah.
We haven't determined stretch goals at this point. We are going to work on some stretch goals moving forward. And it's going to essentially be like, more content we're doing. We do have an episode to do for you guys. We have to figure out when we're going to do it. Obviously, I think we need to do it soon, Toby.
What are we talking about?
The drunk cast.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, we got to figure out how we're going to do that and do all that. So that's something we're gonna do too.
Daytime drinking for Toby.
Yeah.
In the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah, in the middle of the afternoon for us. It's gonna be. We need to do it where it's like later for you.
You want to do it right now?
No.
I'll do it. I get hammered.
No. It's too early for me. Way too early.
It's never too early.
Yes.
People go, Joe, you might have a problem. Don't tell me how to live my life, you know what I mean?
Oh, Lord. So, okay. So we just made, essentially, the announcement, per se. Let's start with you, Toby. What's your feelings on everything? Do you have anything to add to this?
I'm just excited that Sean's coming over to the Gaming Gurus podcast.
Nothing else. He don't care about that.
That's like, because like you say, I've wanted Sean to podcast with us for a long time now, boy.
A little inside baseball here, folks. So the way this worked was, Sean had done a couple podcasts with Joseph. I did a couple podcasts with Joseph. Toby had never spoken to Joseph before. So then Sean and I get to talking.
We actually hate each other. That's the thing you don't know.
Yeah, rivals.
Sean and I start talking together, and we start configuring and creating this concept, this idea. And we're like, okay. And we do it late at night. And I'm like, okay, so do we go to Joseph or Toby first? Because we got to get approvals from both of them. We're sitting over in this make-believe world, like if we ran the, make us better, like we always do. And we're coming up with all these concepts and ideas. And we're like, okay, let's talk to Joseph first. We go to Joseph, and we lay it out to Joseph. He's like, yeah, man, I'm down. I'm definitely down. I'm like, okay, we got to talk to Toby first. He could veto this all, and then it's not going to happen. We go to Toby, and it was like, he didn't care about nothing. He didn't care about anything, just that Sean was coming to the show. He's like, yeah, I'm in. And I'm like...
The thing is, Bobby, I've seen Joseph's videos, and I know that he's very good, and he's very articulate, and he's good at explaining both sides of the argument and sort of weighing things up. So I've really got no worries about what he's going to be bringing to podcasts and videos, etc. So, yeah, Sean's the icing on the cake that I'm just gobbling up.
So Mr.
I don't know how I feel about that comment.
Yeah.
The icing in a cup.
Mr. Icing, how do you feel about everything?
I feel like I had like so many thoughts like organized in my brain, and they're just all gone. You just like shattered the whole chart that I had up in there. I feel great about it. I reciprocate. I am a huge fan of Toby. I think he's the smartest one of all of us, and I want to converse with him on a regular basis. And I love that we're finally going to have a show that has all three represented. Now we just need maybe like Joseph can come on later. Maybe a stretch goal will be where Joseph comes on as the Ouya guru or something like that. We'll have.
It's coming back, guys. You don't know.
Yeah, man, I'm excited, and yeah, I think just to put a little context around the conversations that Bobby and I were having was, we recognize Joseph as a friend. Joseph was on We the Gamercast a long time ago, and then you guys really hit it off, and I'm so excited by the notion that that the whole make us better thing is actually like making us better. We're bringing on another person into this thing. Like, who even imagined that this was going to be the path that we were taking? And I just feel like this is such an exciting stepping stone for Make Us Better. And who knows, like, this is the thing, is that before this moment, I feel like we all kind of had a pretty like solid box around what this was. And now that's like totally blown to smithereens. Who knows what this has in store for us in the future? And the last thing that I'll say before rambling on too much is that I'm excited to have, as you mentioned, Joseph on as an equal partner. Like, that's the thing that I thought was absolutely amazing about you and Toby and me. We all kind of like saw this, right? There was no convincing. There was no arguments or conversations about it. It was, if we bring in Joseph, he's going to be a fourth man. He's going to be exactly an equal 25% across the way. So I wanted to make sure that comes across to everybody listening, that Joseph is bringing content to the table, and we think that he is amazing. And he will be equal right from the start. There's nothing that he has to prove to us, or any, I don't know, like, what do you call when you did? I'm losing my words now. When you start something,
Probation?
anyway. No, well, not like a probation, like, anyway, like when you start high school, starts with an I. Somebody's gonna. Good lord, I can't believe there's none of these. I'll come back to it later. Anyways. I don't have to put you through any like trials of anything. Like, you walk in the door and you are one of us, and I think that is the coolest thing. So cool. Cool is cool.
It's crazy. It's crazy for me because I'm a person that is very like I take a lot of things in, like for like months now. I've been my solo gig, right? The only person I have to go to is me. And it sounds cool on paper, right? It's like you're the boss, but really, for me, I have now 3 other people to go to, and feel like I'm not bothering them, because a lot of times when I had a really big decision I was weighing on, I would always go to you guys, right? There's a group of people I would always go to because they have it together. And so, not a lot of people know this. I was going to say it on my channel, but, about a week or 2 ago, I was thinking about quitting Bad Bit because of school, because of, I had a meeting with my teacher after class, and she handed me back my midterm, and she was just like, this is awful. Like, this is crap. And
Initiation.
Yeah. And then I was just like, wow, okay. This is initiation, but we are initiated anyway. And she really opened my eyes of like, whoa, I'm in way too big. I went in way too over my head. I'm trying to start this Discord, this Patreon, all these things at once, and at the same time trying to make content, at the other time doing other podcasts. And I'm like, something has to give. And so when you guys actually came to me, it was actually like, wow, yeah, no, now I have a support group. Now I have these people that are going to help me, going to give me the ideas, lay out the groundwork, the foundation that I honestly desperately needed. And when we were talking about it, it was more and more of an offer I couldn't refuse because it was just so good. And at the same time, it was me being really happy for the first time in a really long time, going, wow, like now I'm not alone. Now I know I have people to fall back on, But now, for the first time, I think I'm the dumbest person in the room. And I think the biggest thing to success is being the dumbest person in the room, being the person surrounded by all these smart people that you can learn from. And so I can't wait, because I think I do have some things to offer, but I also can't wait to learn from you guys as well, because you guys, man, like seeing Guru just kick so much butt the past few months, that's an inspiration to me. Seeing how well like his intros are, his edits are, it's awesome. And I'm like, wow, like that guy's gonna show me the ropes. And maybe maybe he is my illegitimate father. We don't know. We'll have to find out. But to me, that's the cool thing is now I have someone to talk to about these things. And I really, I had that sort of back then, but now I definitely haven't now. Because what we are now is, if I were to ask someone before, they kind of would take it maybe like, oh, he's asking this and maybe he's going to get better than me. I'm going to kind of just push him away. Now I have people that are going to, help me because it's beneficial to them as well. Mm-hmm. And we're all helping each other to help us grow. And I think that's the best thing. Is that we're all helping each other out for the greater good. And I really love, if we ran Nintendo, and it gets me so super nervous, just super nervous being a co-host on that. I love the PlayStation podcast. I love Bad Bit. I love what Sean's doing at the Xbox Drive. That's why I bother them weekly about me being on that podcast. I love what we're doing right now. Yeah. And just to see that this is the groundwork and what's in the future, that gets me super excited.
I want to correct you on two things. Yeah. One, as long as I am a part of this group, you will never be the dumbest person in the group. Okay? Everybody knows I'm illiterate as hell. I can't read. I stumble over intros a million times. You see what happens when I do an intro. It's like 80 takes to get it right. And then the other thing is you can come to me, you can talk to me anytime. Please don't look me in the eye, though. You need to keep your head lowered at all times.
And kind of have to mumble, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Hi, Father.
Hold signs up in front of you, over your face, and that say what you want to say.
Hey, Joseph, right? I've got a question, a very important question for you.
Yeah.
So now you're joining Make Us Better, right? Yeah. I need to know your opinion on Sonic the Hedgehog.
He has suffered a fate worse than death.
Oh.
Welcome to the team.
Oh man,
he knows.
I have to say I love 2D Sonic.
Yeah.
Sonic Mania is a good throwback to old Sonic, but what happened mid-90s onward, oh boy. Quote me on that.
He's got some issues, some 3D issues.
He's got some issues. Yeah. He got more than 3D issues, but we'll just for me, I feel excited for all this, just because I feel like it gives us a firmer direction of where we're going with all this. Because I know it's funny, it's weird to sometimes be behind the scenes and see how all these things come together and how Patreon even came together for us. It was something that we weren't even sure about. I went to Sean, I was like, I'm thinking about starting it. And Sean's like, I'm thinking about starting it too. And we were actually thinking about starting separate ones. And then we were like, no, let's just pull. And Toby's just like, whatever you want to do. That's the nice thing about Toby. Toby's just like, whatever, I'm along for the ride. Whatever you guys want to do is cool. Yeah. But also in the conversations we had, we never expected, we totally expected right now, maybe hitting the $75 goal. Mm-hmm. Dude, you guys crushed it and blew it out of the water. That it was what was it, a couple weeks? And we were there.
We had to make brand new gentleman executive producer categories, Bobby.
You'd stop it.
Nick Milicia from Next Level Games. Joel Brooks, James Johnson.
Seriously, without you guys helping us and getting us to this point, does not happen. And it's just amazing to see the goals that are just getting knocked down one after the other. And when we knocked out all them goals, we had the conversation of well, what do we do now? like what's next. And unfortunately, but unfortunately, Sean has a son. Toby's about to have a child. It limits time for them guys. They can only do so much. And Toby is kind of the unknown. He's not sure what to get into yet.
I want to step in there, Bob. I'm going to interrupt. I'm really sorry. I think that even more important than that, I think that's one aspect of it for sure. Yeah. But I think more importantly than that, people only want to hear so much of us. Yeah. There's only so much content that people actually want to listen to. So I think that this adds a new dynamic and a new set of notes. It's sort of like we've been playing on just the treble clef this whole time. We're running out of notes to explore over here. We got bass clef now. Now we got piano. We're playing with two hands. Yeah. And then we're gonna add, maybe at some point we're gonna add the foot. We're gonna have an organ or something.
What about a jazz flute? Can we throw a jazz flute in there?
My brother plays jazz flute, so yeah, we're on it. Yeah, man. Wow. Yeah, so let's do it. So I just wanted to say that. I think it has.
If I could say one thing too,
look, I could do a podcast on my drive to work 5 days a week, right? Yeah. I've discovered a whole new time to do podcasts, but that's not necessarily it too. It's what's interesting for people to listen to, and maybe they hadn't been hearing Joseph before, or maybe his audience hadn't heard us before, so we're coming together. Now I'm just giving away the secrets for why you collaborate, guys. This is not rocket science, and we're so much better together. The whole notion of make us better is that us making the content make us better, the people who support us make us better, and this is just this is just ingrained in the DNA of what this thing has been built from the beginning. So I'm pumped.
I gotta say, the Patreon too is something I totally believe in, and it's no BS there. I hate seeing content locked behind that paywall, right? Mm-hmm. That exclusive stuff that only one person could get if they pay for it, and nobody else does. And I love that what we do here is, we want to do big things, and what we do is, hey, when we hit this goal, we get to do that big thing, and it makes it an event. It makes it something special. It's the channel growing with the audience. Yeah. And that's the special thing. Why we can, collaborate is it's all part of networking. And when you think of networking, it's weird. It is. We're using each other as stepping stones. We're using each other as these steps to help us grow. I'm on Bobby's podcast because I hope some people listen that come over, vice versa. And
stop giving away the secret.
I'm sorry. And McDonald's secret sauce isn't what you think, but nonetheless, it's that special thing of, you think networking's it's such a robotic term. What I like to think of it as is you're making friends. And what networking has got me is, to this point, I think Bobby is a friend of mine. When I talk about Bobby, he's my friend. When I talk about Sean, he's my friend. When I talk about Toby, piece of garbage.
Why is everybody?
No, I can't.
I'm just easy to attack.
No, Toby's amazing. He's gonna be my new British best friend.
That's not nice.
It's the only reason. Listen, it's the only reason that Murrin listens. So, Murrin is Toby's brother. The only reason he listens is the little digs. Which, by the way, happy birthday, Murrin. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Your name's awesome. It sounds like a Lord of the Rings character.
Well, like a hobbit.
Oh, nice little dig. I like that. Nice little dig. Something else that I want to explain to people so they understand too is, within the Discord chat, I actually already started it. There is a section in there, and it's called This Week in Make Us Better. We are going to have it in the Facebook group as well. We are going to have it on the Patreon as well. And Joseph on his website. What is that website, Mr. Badbit?
The Poly Network.
Okay, yeah. The Poly Network. Was it thepolynetwork.com?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. So on all those sections, you will, I believe we're going to do it Saturdays, you're going to have a breakdown of the week of where you can get everything. And you just click the links, and it'll take you right to where you want to go, and everything will be set up.
I'm glad that's happening, because my one concern with having Joseph on board is that we might be having more people in the group, Make Us Better group, but our content is becoming more fragmented.
Yeah.
It's spread over multiple channels, but if there's a way where people can find it, how to get to it all in one place, then that's good.
Yeah.
I agree. So,
me too.
Anything else you guys want to add before we shut her down for today?
Man,
should we talk about what we're playing?
We can do that. Let's jump into that.
Yeah,
let's
have
jump
some
into that.
actual gaming chat.
Yeah, let's
Good
do
call,
that.
Toby.
Let's end the show. About time you contributed something, Toby. Wonderful. Good
Oh
job.
my
goodness.
God.
Sean, listen. Don't.
I quit.
The abuse
If
is
you're
too much.
gonna be mean to Toby, I quit.
No, it's going to happen. You're just going to have to deal with it. You're going to have to learn how to deal with it. It was nice when I had Alan Paxton on, because at least Alan would help me. Like, if you're going to be anti-Toby, or you're going to be anti the attack on Toby, then I don't know, man.
That's our new anime,
Yes.
the Attack on
Yes.
Toby.
They're just giant Tobys.
Yeah. Toby, what are you playing?
So I've been playing through Call of Duty World War II.
Oh, really?
Yeah, me too.
What do you guys?
And it's so weird because I've not played a Call of Duty since World at War.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't play any of the Modern Warfare ones or the sci-fi ones or anything. Like, for some reason, that sort of shooter didn't appeal to me. And for years, I was like, oh, stupid COD, like, it's copy-paste every time. Like, but, you know, I understand that they are competent developers of those games. So, you know, I thought World War II, I like that era of shooter. So I bought it and I did not regret it. I'm really, really loving it.
Nice.
I think the graphics are amazing. The set pieces are so exciting. Like, I've not played a World War II game as bombastic as this.
Did you do the train level yet?
Yeah, the train level. Like, there's so much
gosh.
variety. Like, mission to mission, you're doing something different every time.
Yeah.
And like back to back, these like, because you know it's telling the story. It's all happening very quickly. You know, obviously you're moving through the war, but it's so like fascinating seeing all the different like major battles and things that are going on.
Yeah, the Battle of Bunker Hill is something I just beat, and it got me. It got me. This game, man, for me, like as a person who's bought every single COD reluctantly, hoping that it goes back to its roots, this might be the best Call of Duty to me easily since COD 4. But it might be one of my favorite Call of Duty stories. It's really good, and it deals with a lot of themes. Sometimes that not so well, but like it deals with things like sexism, racism, anti-Semitism within the U.S. Army, and you also have these conversations of Nazis not being the evil people where we think them as all the time. There's bad on both sides, but they're just people too. Like there's this conversation where they're like, we're doing this because we have to. There has to be some of them that are doing it because they have to too.
Yeah.
And there's that reluctant nationalism that was happening during the time that you really do see in the game so well. Like Call of Duty was one of the reasons why I fell in love with history, and seeing the guys from Sledgehammer that were Visceral Games make a Call of Duty that is horrifying, it is gory, it is asking you questions, and it does it so well.
It really
Really
does.
does.
Speaking of like horrific moments, there are like things that happen in that game that are shocking, like even for a shooter. Like there's a bit where I was up in a tower helping some guys on the floor out, and then just before something happens, right, something big happens, right, there's a guy standing next to you who just gets his head shot off by like a plane bullet, and he's like half his shoulders missing, and he just falls towards you. And I was like, for a minute I was like, whoa, like
the first guy you get to capture, I shot him in the head because I thought he was pulling out a gun, but he was actually like pulling out a photo.
Typical
of, like,
American.
Exactly.
Holy crap! Are you kidding me? You guys just played the stereotype.
What is wrong with
you?
you?
Ask questions later.
Like he just
was
had a
actually
chocolate bar.
He was pulling out like a photo of like a loved one or something, and I was just like, oh, well, hopefully they didn't have kids because orphans now, and so.
He's like, what the hell's wrong with you, man?
It was one of those moments where I actually went, oops, oh man. Well, it's not like they're going to care much. Yeah.
Do you find yourself asking yourself about Game of the Year with this thing? Because like COD is always such a like.
Right.
It's just COD. It's just whatever it is, what it is, and like you don't even consider it. But I feel like Sledgehammer's on another level. I felt that way with Advanced Warfare. I feel like that's actually the best of this generation. I think it's way better than Black Ops, even on the multiplayer side.
Oh yeah.
Obviously better than Ghost and obviously better than Infinite. I think Sledgehammer is the new top dog when it comes to Call of Duty games. What do you think about this game in terms of like, because the gameplay has never been questioned. The gunplay, it always feels amazing. I feel like they've really stepped up a notch on all the things that make it sort of cheesy or just kind of laughable. You throw it away. This is just same old, same old. What do you think about that, man?
I really think there's.
Didn't I ask Toby?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Well, the thing is, like, yeah, like,
I actually was wondering, like, I'm very tired. But didn't I say Toby?
I don't know.
Shut up,
He
Joe.
just started talking to me. It's all right. He can answer it. Like,
Oh my lord.
the thing is, I am really enjoying it, and it is one of my favorite games of the year for sure. But like, what I really like about it is the way that I don't know if other CODs have done this, but it feels like realistic in a certain way of like you're in a battle, and as you're shooting the bad guys, like the Nazis, right? They just keep coming until you push forward. So you get rid of a certain amount of them until you find an opening, and then as you move forward, your squad moves forward with you, and they start retreating. And that feels like so natural, and like that is what would happen in a real war, you know?
That's pretty much
the enemy,
that's
yeah, like
for COD.
But like I've never experienced that in a shooter. Like, you know, it's been a while since I played a World War II shooter, but I don't know. It's just little details like that, like the enemy retreating, like as you're pushing forwards. You know, it's clever.
This game is nuts. Like in terms of visuals as well. Like I was like, am I actually gonna put Call of Duty as one of the most visually appealing games this year? Like, because it is. Like when I see a cutscene, I'm like, sometimes I go, wow, I should have got this on the X, because this on 4K.
I was going to ask if you're
nuts.
playing it on the X, because that sounds like you're playing it on the X if you're saying that it's really that good looking.
And I'm playing it on a 1080p TV.
I'm not playing it on anything special. I'm PS4 standard, and I think it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Neato, guys. Hobby, wake up.
I'm just letting you guys talk, man. I'm playing Doom. Dude, this game last year was my game of the year, and I thank you, Ryan Black. He gave me these C-bands that I was wearing today when I was playing. Didn't get sick at all.
Nice.
And was playing like a champ. And man, dude, that game is.
How are you getting sick?
I get motion sickness when I play first person shooters.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can't play first. Although with these I can, because it just keeps me from getting sick. So I
like you're a superhero, and you just need to like ward off the Krypton.
Yeah, exactly. Kryptonite. Yeah, it was.
I'm very tired. I can't believe I just said Krypton.
That's fine. Let me tell you what, I gotta tip my cap to Bethesda and ID, because man, they really knocked it out the park with this game. Like it is, and you know, I don't even think it was them. I think they had someone port the game over, but man, it is so good. So good. Like, it is phenomenal. In terms of, like, I don't know. Like, I don't see much of a difference between them. Now, the action's so quick with that game, it'd be hard to point out and go, oh, that texture's wrong, or that texture's wrong, because it's a fast-paced game. They did a hell of a job, man. They really did. The action is intense. I haven't experienced any slowdown as of yet. People were saying that, like, sometimes we get too many enemies on the stage, it slows down just a little bit. I have not experienced that at all yet. But man, I just love going up, grabbing the aliens or whatever, the demons, and just smashing their face and like ripping their jaws off and stuff. Like, it is so amazing. It's not even funny how good that game is. I love it.
You know what I like about the cover art to that game is they use the alternative cover art from the Xbox One and PS4. So I like that it's not the standard guy with gun. It's him on the pile of like demons.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Don't mind me. I'm just going to show everybody what that looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Hey, Bobby.
Yes.
You know it's my brother's birthday, right? And
Yes.
he's just texted me, right? So I asked him is there anything that he wants to say on the podcast.
Yes.
So he says, Kirby Golf predicted for 2018 on the Switch. He thinks that's going to be real. And old school Sonic is the nuts. Also, I love you, Bobby. Is what he says.
I love you too, Murrin. Making such bold statements like that, though, Murrin, you will get yourself banned from the show. That will never mention your name again. Like that is don't. You need to think twice before you make such statements like that.
Well, he is down the pub, so I don't know if he's in the right mind or not.
Yeah, he's probably drunk. You're forgiven, Murrin. You're forgiven. So yeah. What about you, Sean? What are you playing?
I'm playing COD. I'm playing. Oh, by the way, Joseph, I'm also like almost 10 hours into Star Wars Battlefront 2. Thanks to EA Access on the Xbox.
Oh, you're the worst,
guys. This game,
the
campaign, you can play the first 3 missions of the campaign, and it is spectacular. It is so good. It like because there's a lot of confusion or a lot of arguments on the internet about it not being long enough. It doesn't matter. It is amazing. So I mean, it comes out on the 17th, so PlayStation can finally get that game.
I'm so excited for this game because of the story, because of what everybody's saying.
Does it get better than the first 15 minutes, though? Because I saw IGN posted the first 15 minutes of campaign. It looked pretty bog standard.
So I agree, and actually I was streaming it, and I was just like rolling through. It was super easy. I'm like, well, this feels like kind of like Dark Forces, but like on I don't know, like just the first person shooter story of Dark Forces from way back in the day. And I played that first level 1,000 times. I've never beaten it, but I've played that first level. So it felt like going through the motions just as Star Wars and blasty. But it ramps up, man. And it ramps up in difficulty, and it's really diverse in terms of what one mission goes to, like, because they've got space battles as well, which is really actually quite difficult, and makes me like, I miss the old X-Wing games and the TIE Fighter and X-Wing versus TIE Fighter on PC from way back when. And this sort of satisfies that for me. And I love it. I think they've done an amazing job with it so far. I can't wait to see like where it's going to take a corner, where the 3-hour trial or the 3-mission trial ends. And that's going to be where I start. I have not as much interest in the multiplayer, which is weird because I probably would have bought it if they only had multiplayer anyways, because I missed the whole like excitement period when the last one came. I waited for it to be cheap, and then nobody was playing anymore. The people who were those crazy, really good people.
My brother.
Yeah, this game it's the real deal, man. And it's such a showcase for the Xbox One X, as is Call of Duty 4, as is Shadow of War, and many other third-party games that everybody says, Xbox.
I'll say this.
So shut up, Joseph.
I'll say this. Xbox still doesn't have any games. And I'm actually torn about where I'm buying this because it looks so good. I do want to play 4K.
And on a good network. You want to get good download speeds, and you can change your name.
They are not practically the same, sir. They are not practically. Dude, don't go there with the network. PlayStation.
Tomatoes.
Trash in the summer. When you get... Dude, let me tell you what. I had a patch, day one patch for the Nintendo Switch for Doom. 40 minutes, my sir. 40 minutes. My PlayStation 4, day one patch for Doom last year. 3 hours.
I mean, that means you
not
just
acceptable.
have bad internet and you need
No.
No.
Not acceptable. I have 5G, sir. Thank you.
All right. Well, it's more like 4.5 is what you're telling me.
It's more like PlayStation.
I gotta say, the downloads, I actually never have real bad downloads. That's why everybody's like, these downloads are horrible. I'm like, that's downloading pretty fast. But my brother still owns a PlayStation 4, and this is the only game he plays. Battlefront, he will be playing this for a year.
It's awesome.
This is the only game he'll freak out over, geek out over even. And he, I want to play with him. He's my brother after all, and this is the thing we bond over. Star Wars is the thing of like, we're kids again type of deal. And he's babysitting me, which is actually, he was starting fight clubs in my mom's condo. Jesus. But anyway, nonetheless, but we feel like we're kids again, just watching Star Wars. And it's really important to us. Like, we never miss a movie. We always have to watch it together. Like, that's how it is. And so I want to play on the Xbox. I just don't know. I'm torn. I'm so torn.
I got
if
a
I
question.
could buy it
Sean.
twice, I would.
Hey, Toby.
So everyone's crying like a baby, right? That the single-player Star Wars game was cancelled, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we got a single-player Star Wars campaign in Battlefront.
Yeah.
I know it's not an RPG, but should people still be whining about not having a decent single-player experience for Star Wars?
I think generally people are going to whine no matter what, but I think this definitely takes a sting out of it for sure. And it is almost too bad that that they didn't kind of close the gap between the announcements and maybe when people could play this or maybe remind them, because I definitely think people when that outrage happened, I think there was maybe an element of we forgot that we were getting a single player game, or maybe we thought it wasn't going to be this good. I guess we just didn't know what we were in for. But there's always room for more. There's that's something that we could have every year or every other year. Another team is bringing us like an experience. This could be the expanded universe, but still manage it to be canon. We just had books before. We actually had lots of games with the LucasArts games and every Lucasfilm games before. So it is too bad, but this definitely, like I said, takes a sting out of it for sure.
Now,
Remember that fighting game?
I feel like here's the deal. You had it where it was a true, just a single player campaign. Like it was story based. It was going to be within the Star Wars universe. It was going to be canon. It was all these different things that they were doing, and they just fired the whole team. That's BS.
The thing it's more
the
article. It's more the game was in trouble, man. The game it doesn't necessarily mean that the game was going to be good.
Okay.
So like everybody likes to jump on EA, and I don't know one way or another, but I think we just need to like. What happens if that game was bad? Like we're all like, it's Amy Hennig, it's going to be amazing, but there's so many other factors.
Yeah,
this game could have been hot trash in the summer.
And I'll be honest with you guys.
Mad that it...
Like we were talking about this. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting, but like I was talking about it on the PlayStation podcast, and the one thing is like, yeah, it sounded good, but like the Respawn deal with EA, with Jason Schreier reporting his accounts, it was Respawn's game looked far better and with far less time than the Visceral game, and I felt like they were throwing their money at nothing. So like, and then Visceral's track record, as much as I love Dead Space, is like Dead Space 2 losing EA a crap ton of money. None of their games sticking. Battlefield Hardline, that game had a smaller community at its launch than the Battlefield 4 had a larger community after like 3 weeks. And it's like, that's the game that came out before yours. Like, that's bad. So like the track record with this company, as much as we have fond memories of it, isn't that great. And when we talk about Amy Hedging, I think we hold her up to this god tier status that this is coming from a Sony pony, that like she makes amazing games. Thank you for Uncharted.
The thing is though, the article about why it all went wrong at the studio, they do bring to light things like being understaffed, underfunded, like they didn't want to hire people because it was going to be too expensive, and like the way that Amy Hennig was used to working, like the whole structure was different, and she didn't have other people to rely on in the same way she did at Naughty Dog, and lots of different factors that went into it. And you know, I feel like probably EA just made a mistake of announcing it way too early. I tell you what, Lost Legacy, not that great.
No, not that great. I have to correct one of you guys. Way back when you guys said that like this was like a Naughty Dog production or something to that effect. This is actually a small team at Naughty Dog and actually multiple little studios. It's actually not Naughty Dog working on it, or it is Naughty Dog, but not in the full capacity that the marketing team will let you believe.
That is all. Thank you guys for listening to us on iTunes, over on dayspace.com, Google Play, all that good stuff. Checking out the video version over on youtube.com. Thank you guys so much for all the support over on Make Us Better. You can follow everybody. You can follow Toby at Tobys_take, Sean Capri at Sean like Connery, Capri like the pants.
Somebody tweet me. Just tweet at me, please.
Okay.
Not you guys. Like anyone who's listening. I don't care about you guys tweeting me.
Joseph Moran at Mr. Badbit. That is all. Peace out, Preston.